I came here and I was scheduled for liver surgery on hip replacement on March 7th, and I was limping for probably the last 2 years, but really badly the last year. And the limping was obviously because I was in excruciating pain most of the time. So I came here and a few things have occurred. The pain has completely gone away, and I have shifted in a lot of ways. My thinking has changed. So this was a refresher course, and I assume that my outcome is very good because it fell on fertile soil, everything I've heard here. Not to say that other people can't, I'm just saying be open. And yeah, so this morning on the way over here, today I'm doing my liver cleanse. It's day 10 of the 10-day program. I called back the doctor's office because I was supposed to do a pre-op exam at the hospital tomorrow, and I left a voicemail saying that I would cancel that, or that I'm canceling that appointment, and that I will call back if and when I need to reschedule. And then I said the surgery on the 7th will also be canceled, and I will call you back if and when I need to reschedule that. So when I came here, I was wearing long underwear and the warmest pants I had, including warm underwear on the top, long underwear, you know, the stuff from Costco, the 32 degree thing, ski underwear, and then sweater, and then the first 4 or 5 days, I think I was also wearing my jacket most of the time. And that was pretty much my MO. I was always cold. And then about 3 days ago, it started where I wasn't freezing anymore all the time, and I dropped the jacket, and then I dropped the base layer, but I was still wearing my warm pants, but I was down to 1 layer. And today, for the first time, I'm wearing actually yoga pants, which are not very warm, and I'm wearing a normal underwear, which is, you know, no long layer, just a cotton undershirt and this little jacket, and I'm actually not cold. And for the first time in I don't know how many years, at least 3, could be 5 years, last night I removed the heating pad I was sleeping on for all that time, and I don't think I will need it again.
Got blood moving, circulation going.
Sounds like it. And also my skin color looks very different.
Yes, you got some pink hue. You're not the white that you came in with.
Right, not pasty white. Yes.
That's pretty amazing. And didn't you also share with me you'd been doing hot yoga for...
Yeah. For over a year and a half, I've been doing hot yoga as well as I could. I think that's what saved me so far from having the surgery sooner, because I stayed pretty fit, you know, even though I was in all this pain all the time. And I just kind of, worked around it during yoga. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing yoga at home now since I'm here all the time. I just did a few exercises in the morning the last 4 days, and I've been noticing that I can actually do them without a workaround. I've also noticed, of course, now that I can move again, the muscles that I should be using are not as developed as they should be. So I muscle tested this morning and was told that it would take 3 months to rebuild my muscles, which I can do on my own. Thank God I had already had all the training that I've had here 20, 30 years ago, but over the decades I have forgotten it. I already know what I need to do, because when I go into the Warrior One, where you go into a deep forward stretch, I can tell that the muscles around my knee need to be strengthened, and that the muscles, when I lift my leg up. By the way, when I started...
shows that.
When I started, when I came here, the best I could do was this, 3 times.
That's it?
Yes. Now I have no trouble, even though I haven't done much muscle strength training, but I can do everything now. I can also, you already filmed it, remember, with the leg? So this is the healthy leg, right? And
even that one's moving faster though.
Yeah, and for at least 2 years, I couldn't do this at all. And then when I came here, I was able to do it. Now it's still, granted, it still hurts a little bit in here, because again, I need to stretch more and I need to get more flexible and all this. But I can tell that whatever caused me pain in my hip has been removed. Now it's a matter of just stretching the muscles, getting more flexible. But see, I can sit. I can do this now. And I can do it on the colonic bed, and I do it for like a long period of time, and it's not.
And you would have been screaming before if you would have did that.
Yeah, the first 2 days on the colonic bed, I couldn't do this.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Well, I think in 3 months I'll be fully restored, and right now I still have a slight limp, is from what I'm hearing. I don't think I'm limping, but people give me the feedback, yes, it's a tiny bit of a limp left, but not like when I walked in, right? which was...
I wish I would have taped you when you were first walking, because it was staggered. I mean, almost like a drunk just trying to waddle down the street. I mean, and it was painful for you. You could just see the pain in your...
Yes, and I didn't have to convince the surgeon. When I met with the surgeon for the hip surgery, he just watched me walk. He didn't ask any questions.
Yeah.
He looked at the x-ray, said, you must be in a lot of pain. And I got up from the chair and I waddled out. And he's like, okay, we're done with the exam.
Yeah, waddling was the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah, you waddled. It was. I remember the first day you came and you met with me, and it was, you could just feel that it was like, oh, I gotta walk down here and look.
Yeah, I used to go to the supermarket and count the steps and think, okay, do I really need this or that produce, because that's on that aisle and the trash bags are on that aisle, and that means I have to walk from all the way over there to all the way. Do I really need that? That's how
I felt sorry actually bringing you, showing you the place, because I knew it was hurting every. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So you want to see me walk real quick?
Yeah, let's do.
Let's do. I mean,
show off, girl.
It's not a lot of, but
Oh my gosh, that is so much better.
I don't know. Am I still limping? I don't feel it.
You got a little bit of a limp, yep.
Okay.
But before, I don't know. Yeah, you were like tilting. It was like, is she gonna fall over? She's.
Yeah. So I feel like a normal person again, which is huge. Again, the muscles need to be reprogrammed, the brain needs to be reprogrammed.
Right.
That we don't need to limp anymore, and we can now work like a normal person, right? But that takes a little bit of, even for me as I'm a trained, person in mental work, I still have to focus on that, even me, for a few weeks. But I'll get there.
Huge. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Good job. And do you remember back? You were kind of on the fence of whether you're going to jump on the program or not. Remember that day?
Probably, yeah.
Should I do this? Is it really going to help me? Should I just do the surgery? Right?
I mean, it's not small change, right? It does cost money, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. But what does hip surgery cost you? Any idea?
Well, without insurance, it would be $50,000. With insurance, with all the deductibles, yada, 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 in my case, it would have been probably $12,000.
Oh my goodness. So we saved you like $7,000.
Correct.
Well, if you didn't have insurance, we saved you $50,000, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I got insurance specifically to get this done, which now I don't have to. But.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's like that's a 12-fold return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't measure the fact that I still have my hip, right? That's the biggest argument.
Yeah, what's that worth? For everything,
not having to detox from titanium, not having to have titanium removed, or have any follow-up issues with that.
No anesthesia on the brain.
All those toxins they put into you, right?
Right.
And of course, it's if you have hip surgery replacement, it's a rehab of about three months.
Right.
And maybe after a year, usually you can go back to skiing and things like that. But to walk properly and maybe go for a walk, that's about 3 months. For a walk of like an hour, you can do that probably after 3 months.
And I told you'd be able to go square dancing, and you said, what's square dancing? All right, thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm.